Kevin, that's a show.
Recording in progress. Yeah. We said, what's his name? Was AJ what?
No, I thought it was AJ Johnson.
Okay.
Like that.
Everybody knows at least two AJ Johnson. I mean, at work, okay, Anthony Johnson. I've known around 3 Anthony Johnsons and probably more than that, but I forgot some of them.
I know Tony Johnson.
Yeah, I'm going, oh yeah. In fact, one of the coolest guys in my neighborhood, we were growing up, his name was Tony Johnson. There was a Tony Johnson where I used to work at Plymouth Center. There was a Tony Johnson where I worked with you, Kevin Thompson. There's every time you turn around, Tony Johnson, you know.
Who's the guy that we went to cast with? What was his name? It was Anthony something.
I know you're talking. I got his face. Tony Norman.
Anthony Norman. Yeah. He had that fro.
My little brothers too. Yeah.
Right.
I don't say he had a big fro, but just about everybody did.
But only one guy cut his off though.
Who?
Was that Gary? What was his last name? He was starring in The Great White Hope. Aztec to put that play on.
Yeah.
And he had a really nice fro.
Yeah.
And he actually cut it off. He cut himself bald, man.
He was a serious actor.
Very serious.
Mm-hmm.
Very serious. Yeah.
Most
So I was like, wow, yeah, be in high school and do that.
I know, man.
What's he doing today?
Your hair. What's this?
What's he doing today?
He's retired. He's a retired janitor. No, I don't know.
What was his name? Gary Gray?
Gray. That's his name. That's what I'm saying. He's a retired janitor. No, I don't know what he's doing.
Wait a minute. Let's see. Gary.
Wendell looking him up.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. What's all that making, man? You got a lot of collectibles there, huh?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I'm in Wanda's Funko room.
Funko.
Hey, you ever watch Collector's Corner, Kevin?
No.
Oh,
yeah,
I think she does.
Yeah, that's an interesting show, man.
It's a fun show. Here I go again. I'm getting every time I move a certain way, this thing goes up.
What's it about? People collecting different things?
Yeah. They have different collectors on, and then they'll have somebody that will say, well, I would like to have this particular thing in your collection, and I'll give you something else, and they'll see if they really want to trade.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting. All sorts of people collect stuff.
The fun part to me is how passionate so many of those guys are, and how much respect that Lisa Welshow gives to them. She's very respectful of everybody.
She's a very good host. She's a very good host of that show.
She really is.
I really enjoy that. Lisa Welshow?
She used to be on that show with Kim Fields.
Who's the boss?
No. It was one of the Facts of Life.
Facts of Life.
Facts of Life. Yeah. The Facts of Life. The Facts of Life.
It's funny when you look up those shows and you see that they lasted for 9 years.
That's a long time. That's a long time
on TV.
It really is. Shoot, I don't think Mr. Ed even lasted for 4 or 5 years, and Gilligan's Island only lasted like 3.
But didn't they do about 70 episodes in a year though?
But wait a minute, Leave It to Beaver, I think they did have like 30 some odd episodes a year, and they lasted for 7 or 8 years.
No, Leave It to Beaver was from I think
57 to
63, and they did 234 episodes.
It's around 30 some odd episodes a year.
Yeah. A show that I've been binge watching since I'm on this Zumo kick now. I don't even watch so-called regular cable TV anymore, unless sports. When the college football starts and hockey starts, then I'll kick back to that. Because that's all I really watch is sports. But I've been watching the FBI, man. Efrem Zimbalist Jr. Man,
I remember that show. It was Sunday night.
I used to like that show.
A Quinn Martin production.
Right. And it came on from 65 to 74, man.
Wow.
I said, I was in the 3rd grade. And I had graduated from CAS in February, by the time that show went off the air in April. And what's interesting about that show, they said Efrem Zimbalist made like 10 grand per episode on that show, which was pretty good
A
damn
lot
money.
of money back then. Hell
You know,
yeah.
a lot of money back then. And what's interesting about that show that I find hilarious is that every time it might be 3 FBI agents standing right next to each other, and Efrem Zimbalist will go FBI, and the guy turn around and shoot and miss, and then they pull out their guns and they'll shoot him, but they never kill him. They never kill anybody. I said, this is so slanted. It's not even funny, man.
Yeah,
You know, so they never get, but once in a while somebody dies on that show. They either find them dead or something may happen and they die. But every time you turn around, you know, it's like, how do they keep missing these FBI agents? Now, I know the FBI agents are trained and they should be better shots. But come on, man, there's 3 guys standing right next to each other. And you missed all.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they'll pull their gun out, they'll spin around with a gun, get 2 shots off, they'll pull their guns out and shoot his ass. You know, I said, come on, man.
Yeah, TV, well, the problem with episodic TV has always been the same. You know, any suspense about the people getting hurt or killed is all on you because you know they're not going to, because the guy come back next week.
Right.
But the most extreme I've seen like that recently is I was looking at. I'm like you. I have a home channel. My home channel is Buzzer, the old game show. That's my default channel, right? And I go back and forth between the old movie channel on channel 195. I don't know what it's called, movies. And every now and then I'll check out something else, but that's my main thing. But every now and then I'll check out something on Me TV and on Ovation. And Ovation, they had this show called, I look at very rarely because after you've seen like 7 episodes, you kind of get the idea. Okay, it's gonna be like this every time. It's Leverage. They had talk about phony. They had now this is crazy. I don't care how much you like the show. This is some crazy stuff. There's 4 unarmed people.
Isn't that a Hutton? Timothy Hutton or something? Timothy Hutton?
Yes, he's the star.
Right.
And they're hiding behind a gravestone. This guy's got a gun. They don't have a gun at all. And he's shooting at them. He's shooting at them, shooting at them, missing. And they don't have any guns. But he doesn't just walk around and pop them. No. He just keeps shooting. Does that make any sense? Why is he doing this? He's just trying to be an idiot or something. What the hell?
You know, man. One time on a Barnaby Jones episode, I remember seeing this back in the 70s. Barnaby Jones, he was after this criminal who was a martial arts expert, and I believe it was in karate. Now, you know, Jed Clampett got to be hitting 70 right about now.
I knew you were going to say Jed Clampett too.
And he comes up against this karate guy, hand to hand, and punches him a couple times. The guy falls. I said, get the hell out of here, man. I said, come on, man.
He gave the bug tussle bust.
I thought he was going to turn around and go, Randy's fiddle's still working for me. You know, so I support it. But the best part about watching shows like the FBI and other shows like that are the young stars that you saw that became famous later. Like the one that I just turned off, Wayne Rogers from MASH is in there. Edward Asner is in there.
That's my boy.
Lou Ayres is in there from All Quiet on the Western Front. Right?
He's in everything.
And then a very young Kurt Russell.
Okay, yeah, he was a kid. Yeah.
He was a kid then, and you see all sorts of, like the Untouchables.
Yeah,
they have a whole list of people that Robert Redford was in the Untouchables.
Wait a minute, the show for that, bar none, is Perry Mason. Everybody was in Perry Mason. Perry Mason at least one time because Perry Mason had like around 30 episodes a year too.
I was going to say the Twilight Zone too had a lot of
quite a few. But it also it speaks a lot about our time too, because any show that lasted 5 years that came on in the late 50s, early 60s would have a whole lot of stars from that we recognize, you know. Because we saw them, they're like what, 5 to 10 years older than us, and we saw their whole career.
Yeah, yeah, but it's strange though, man. They didn't get residual money, because back then when a show went off the air, you just didn't see it anymore. For the most part, you didn't see it, and then some guy in somebody's press room decided to say, "Hey, we can rerun all this shit, and make some money," and they're making tons. I heard that Betty White, to her dying day, made about $3 million a year in residuals off the Golden Girls.
Good for her.
Yeah, and the guy that does the commercials for State Farm, the guy that's always up for State Farm, the black guy, he does commercials for State Farm. Well,
the young guy. Oh, yeah, sure.
The young guy, right? I
heard
Jake from State Farm. He clocks over $1 million a year, well over $1 million a year.
Commercials.
Well, yeah, let's do that because he does a ton of them, and evidently they're working. And then he'll do shit like Hallmark movies, stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they try to make all these. They make all these commercials like episodic, like Progressive.
Right.
They got like 5 or 6 different characters, and they all have.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Progressive. That's
insurance. Liberty, and all that stuff.
Liberty,
very good.
They got a character now. It's a Bibberty or something.
Yeah,
Liberty, something like a little character they made up.
Yeah, Liberty, Bibberty. Yeah. And that guy with Limu, Emu, he gets on my nerves though. But
oh yeah.
Limu, Emu, but it's funny how some people might say, why are you doing that commercial? You ought to be a serious actor. I say, man, I'm making over $1 million a year. I ain't giving it. If I'm typecast, I'm typecast. I'm going to put my money away.
Exactly. You can always act too. I mean, it's not like you have to pick one or the other. What you call, who was that? Flo, the Progressive Insurance. I saw her. She was on an episode of Mad Men, or she was on more than one episode of Mad Men. Actually.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. And people have been doing that for years anyway. That's one thing I like about a lot of the British actors and actresses. They'll be on a starring role in a movie, and then they'll be in a minor role in a TV show, and all in the same year. It's like it's all acting.
Yeah, right. But see, in acting, like to get health insurance. I mean, I read this a while back, but you got to make at least $25 grand a year, something like that, and acting roles in order to even qualify for certain things.
Okay.
But I don't know if that might be higher or lower now. I don't know, but I mean, if
you can get money, it actually goes by money.
Okay, average amount of money you made in a year. So if you don't get, you can go to all the callbacks you want, but if you don't make it in there, if you're doing scale, like they can tell you, we'll pay you $1,000 a day. Yeah, but you're on there one day, and so it's tough. So if you can get a gig like, hey, you want to be Jake from State Farm? Hell yeah, I want to be Jake from State Farm.
Why not?
Right.
Yeah, they're always flying.
Go ahead.
They're always flying for parts and stuff. I mean, you're always like, working for a part, just like for work. That's crazy. You have to go out every day trying to get work like that,
It's kind of like a microcosm of capitalism in general. It's like it's musical chairs. You got 15 chairs and 30 people. And in acting, you probably got, a couple of hundred chairs and like a few thousand people, So it's only so many jobs,
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
I was just going to tell you a story about a friend of mine who did some work for me when I was at Focus Hope. And she went out to Hollywood years ago. She wanted to see what could happen. And I remember when she came back, she told me this story about how she went to a cattle call, and it was like for a walk-on part in a movie, very small, you might be on there for 10 seconds, and you were like a waitress. And you might walk in and say, here's your coffee, sir. And then you turn around, leave. That's it. Mm-hmm. So she said 3 women went in there, me, her, and 2 other women. And then the 2 guys standing there, and they said, okay, everybody strip naked. And she was like, she said one woman did it automatically. So she's probably used to that bullshit. And the other one looked kind of stunned. And she said, I told him, I said, why do I have to get naked? And the guy says, because we asked you to. She said, this has nothing to do with the part. You got all my pictures. You got me, pictures of me in a bikini. You got all my measurements. Everything is right there. Why do I have to get naked? The part doesn't even call for this. And he says, well, you're never going to work in this town. And she says, I guess not. And she left.
Who was that? Harvey Weinstein?
There's a lot of, but that's true. There's a lot of Harvey Weinstein just got caught.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of assholes like that out there.
It's
he
probably
just got caught.
a couple fucking nerds that never could get shit on their own and figured they were in a position to leverage. And let me see what I can do. Yeah,
low down sons of bitch. That's the kind of son of a bitch you like to hear in my imaginary, put my perfect scenario up. That woman goes back home and she tells her friends, and then they all come know where that guy goes to a bar, and they wait till he comes out and then beat the shit out of him and say, "Strip naked, bitch,"
Right.
and then leave him there. So he'll know what happened, but he won't know who did it.
That's right.
That makes me feel good to think that something like that might happen to that son of a bitch. Whoa,
hey man, I got a subject I want to bring up today.
Ready.
Okay. Okay.
Wait a minute. Don't tell them about what we did June. No. Oh, okay.
Wait. Before you do, I just wanted to say my go-to channel was Pornhub. Okay, go ahead.
That is the definitive Kevin Thompson type humor right there.
It is perfect.
Kind of jumps in there and put that finger in and then sits back and go ahead. All right. Seriously, no. You see what I'm wearing, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm wearing a do-rag.
Sure.
Okay. Reason why I'm wearing a do-rag today is the big controversy that's been going around. Tuskegee, University has put in an edict for a dress code that bans bonnets and do-rags on campus.
Unbelievable.
Now, this has elicited a hailstorm of comments on both sides, in support and not in support. And what I find interesting are the ones that's in staunch support of it. I remember this one guy, one of his comments was, "My father was a deacon in the church for 30 years, and I never once saw him in a pair of sweatpants." Okay, if your father likes to dress up all the goddamn time, that's fine.
That's his thing.
But you don't need to put that on me or say he would cut the grass with creased pants. Good for him.
Good for him.
And I'm sure he probably wore creased pants, and a shirt when he was fornicating with your mother. I don't know, but it's so highbrow. And then you read other comments. People say, well, what does that matter? How can you tell a person's personality by how they dress? Other people say, well, all you're doing is trying to impersonate the oppressor. You're trying to, and then the guy brought up something about Martin Luther King. This other guy, he says, well, Martin Luther King always dressed immaculately. I said, yeah, and he caught a bullet for it, right? I said, it didn't matter. What pisses me off is people think that if you dress that way, you'll have an automatic ticket to the big time. You won't. You won't. We're in a capitalistic society. We're here to make sure a few of us get most of it, and a lot of y'all get a little bit of it. Yeah. That's it. And all this kowtowing to these fucking standards. Look, I go out, man, I'm out in public a lot, and I see people, you be at the mall, they're in pajama bottoms and flip-flops and their heads tied up and all this shit. And I can look at it and kind of chuckle, but I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, that woman's probably stupid.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. Now, do I like sagging pants down, showing your drawers? Hell no, I don't. I think that's fucking ridiculous. But I'm not gonna go up to a person that's doing it and go, "Are you making us look?"
Yeah, no. What is that? Shit. I mean, I used to tell some people in that whole argument, say like, "Hey man, what you're wearing might look stupid to somebody else. What the hell that got to do?" So and what really pissed me off by that particular thing about the anti-do-rag, anti-bonnet thing. Can you imagine if U of M or Harvard or someone said, from now on there'll be no bonnets or do-rags? It'd be obviously what it is at Tuskegee, racist.
Right.
And see, I know, Kevin, Kevin Thompson, you didn't have to go up with this shit, but me and Kevin Robinson did. All these, what we used to call bougie type people, they're just as racist as white people that were racist. Not even, they're more racist than you.
Right. Right.
They're like, oh no, they're making us look bad because we have to be in this. We have to be in our minds in this dream world of where we assimilate completely, and they're making us look bad. Oh, look at that! Every time they have a microphone in front of a black person, they be talking like, what? What the fuck is that? Who is that? You burn me up. So you can't be yourself if you're black because Mr. Lewis over here, who graduated from Tuskegee, is trying to make it. And how am I going to make it when niggers like you are walking around?
Right. Well,
like,
man.
What the fuck is this?
I got to tell you a story about something.
Talk about dehumanizing.
Yeah,
you can't wear a bonnet. You can't. Oh, it pisses me off. Anyway, I'm sorry. Okay.
What's a bonnet? What's a bonnet, first of all?
It looks like a shower cap.
Yeah.
I know it's called. It's pretty new to me, Kevin, too, because like around 2 months ago, I asked my daughter-in-law, I said, what's the deal with the shower cap? She goes, it's called a bonnet now. I said, well, whatever you call it, what do you call it? She said, okay, I figured it's a new style, big deal. But some of these guys are like, oh, Lord have mercy, what would the man think of us now? Oh, shit.
All right. Let me get to my story, please.
Okay, I'm back off.
Before you forget.
Yeah, and and they stole that bonnet from the Amish. I'll just throw that in there, okay? Because the Amish wear a lot of bonnets, okay? So they culturally appropriated the Amish, okay? So let's throw that one in there. I haven't heard that one, but let me tell you something that happened to me when I was a teenager. When I was a teenager, they had this thing called Neighborhood Youth Corps, Michigan Youth Corps. It was one of those federal programs to give us poor, low-income folks a little money for any job that we were doing. So I would work 45 hours a week and make $27. But, we had to go apply for it. So before I went to apply for it, my mother said, look, Kevin, I make $12,000 a year. She says, don't lie about the income. So my mother knew something. She knew what they were going to ask me. So I had my hair cut. I put on a sports jacket, some slacks. I put a tie on. I had a little folder with my resume in it. And I'm like 16, and I catch the bus down there. And I'll tell you, it was a madhouse in this place. All these mainly guys standing around hollering, cussing, dressing every which way. It was crazy, right? So this black woman calls me to interview me, and we talk, and I show her my resume and what I'm willing to do and what I think my skills are. She goes, well, I got to ask you, how much does your mother make? And I said, that's $12,000 a year, She told me to tell you the truth. She goes, I'm sorry, Kevin, you can't be on the program. I said, okay. So I got up to leave. She said, have a seat. She goes, now, I want you to look around. I said, what do you see? I said, well, it's kind of crazy in here. All these people hollering and cussing. And she said, you're the only one in here with a tie on. You notice that? I was the only one in there with a tie on. And she says, but, you had a resume, you're well-spoken, but you're the one that's not going to get a job. And most of these other guys will get one. That's just the nature of the program. She goes, but, you keep this up. If you keep this up, you'll go far. And I thought about that, and the first knee-jerk reaction is, yeah, I see what she's saying. But the other part was, how much talent do these loudmouths have that we don't see? Because we don't want to cut through their noise to find out what's there. And I think that's a lot of what is lost, on this stuff there. You make a snap judgment because somebody wears a bonnet. I mean, if I'm going to interview for a job and you say, well, if you walk in there with your pants half down, you're not going to get this job. I say, yeah, but if I send you a resume and it's a killer and you're going, damn, this guy, we need this dude. He speaks 6 languages. He does all this stuff. And I walk in with my pants half down. You're not going to hire me? Bullshit. If you think I can make you money, you will hire me. Okay. But the thing is, people got to sometimes know both sides of the fence.
Thank you.
But you had guys talking about, I took an accounting class and my teacher used to make us wear business suits. Oh, come on, man, with this shit. Just because you got a suit on don't mean you can crunch numbers. Okay, that's all done up in your head, man. Yeah, but it's.
But I'm sorry, but you told me that story before. And the end of the story, she said, "Now take your clothes off."
All right. That's how you just destroy a very serious point.
Did you?
Right, but
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, but one other thing I wanted to mention too is when I was at Focus Hope, and Eleanor Jositis, co-founder, may she rest in peace. Love Eleanor, She wasn't a perfect person, but neither am I. But this story, I remember I used to run all communications, and I ran the video department, all that PR, and I ran a recruitment department to get students in for the program. So each student, depending on the program, can bring in anywhere from $6,000 to $14,000 a piece in federal money. So I'm at my desk. I get a phone call. Somebody says, "Man, Eleanor's on a rampage over here, man. She's sending people home." I said, "For what?" And he goes, "Well, she don't like the way they're dressed." So I get up, I run down to the Machine String Institute, and sure enough, people that under my tutelage are walking back. "Kevin, I gotta go home and change clothes." Now, some of them were dressed in a dress. It might have been a floor print dress, and some were dressed in just like jeans, but a nice shirt. And I told her, I said, what are you doing? And she goes, "Well, they're not dressed properly. They're not ripped." I said, "What are you talking about, Eleanor? These folks bring in 2,000 people a year. They bring in all this money a year, and you're over here ripping them to shreds over a damn dress or some blue jeans. They're sitting at a desk. The people they're talking to, they don't look at them that way. They look at them as being one of them. You're sitting there with a person that got to catch 3 buses in order to get here. They don't have money. So what do they need to see? Somebody in a suit and tie so they can say, "Oh, I want to be like them"? They don't give a damn about that. What they give a damn about, can you get me in this program and get me through it? And I said, you're sending these folks, you're making snap judgments on these people because of these clothes. They weren't half naked. They weren't wearing halter tops. Nobody's boobs were falling out. None of this stuff. Nobody had on tight clothes. I said, besides, you're supposed to talk to me about that first. And that's yeah. And I said, but that's another example of how because the thing with Focus Hope, and believe me, I love the organization. Matter of fact, I ran into a woman who runs the organization walking down Forest Avenue a couple of days ago. Okay. And but the thing about Focus Hope that was always kind of iffy with me, and I stayed there 22 years and I loved it, but you're always playing both ends against the middle. You're always trying to please both sides. And that is you at some point that shit's gonna run out on you. It's just gonna run out on you. And so when you're sitting here, you're making us look bad when somebody comes in and see you, they're gonna not gonna like certain things. And I tell you, man, it was not just with clothes, just one more, and I'm not gonna hog all this, but one more. Lloyd Royce, who ran GM North America, passed away a couple years ago. Mr. Royce was very interesting. He's a multimillionaire, rich guy, always worked in corporate. One time we used to publish the newsletter. I was in charge of the print shop too. We did an 8-page newsletter, and we used to proofread the shit out that damn thing, man. I mean, I'd have 3 or 4 people reading the same thing over and over again to make sure, because we didn't have all the fancy stuff you got now to catch mistakes. We sent that thing out, and then I got a call from Eleanor. She says, "Hey, Kevin, I need you to come to the resource center." I come down there. I come upstairs. She goes, "Here, call this number." I said, "Who's this?" She goes, That's Lloyd Royce's number. He wants to talk to you." I said, "Okay." So I called Mr. Royce, and he goes, "How you doing, Kevin?" I said, "I'm fine." Me and him were always real cool. He said, "Look, man, I want to tell you something, and I'm going to tell it to you." He says, "Because I know you can handle it." He said, "But I need you to understand where I'm coming from." He said, "I got your newsletter." I said, "Okay." He says, "Excellent. Nice pictures, nice articles, except for one thing." I said, "What's that?" He said, "You had one misspelled word in there." And I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah, now here's the deal. For me, I know you guys. I know how hard you work. It doesn't bother me. But for people who look like me, they'll look for any excuse to not support this organization. Even one misspelled word. One word, okay? So now when you look at it from that perspective, part of it is like, well, do I really want to try to please somebody like that? Because there's no pleasing a person like that. There's no pleasing a person like this. And so this whole thing with these bonnets and stuff, it may look a little silly and everything, but all this knee-jerk reaction about we're supposed to be classy. And one last one. This woman had this guy was in his wedding reception. He had on nice clothes. He was sharp as a tack. He's walking down, bopping to the music. See his boys do the Soul Brother shake. Everybody all dressed and their beards all trimmed and all this shit. you know, and this woman wrote in big bold letters, "This is classy and 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 cultured and cultured." Then underneath it, she wrote, "Not some backyard ghetto wedding." And I went, wait a minute. I said, what in the fuck is wrong with a backyard wedding? Nothing.
Unbelievable.
It's not. So you just
I had
elevated.
one.
Huh?
Yep.
I had one.
You had one? That man, you ghetto, Kev. You know.
I know.
It's so irritating. I hear stuff like that. It's like these people don't have minds of their own. They have a template for what they think they should be, and
Absolutely.
you fit into it, and you don't. Man, yeah, man.
Well,
that's how Fox News is fucking up so many people from doing that. You know. Yeah. They're just putting all this shit in their heads. You know, and day after day after day after day.
Yeah. I remember this guy told me a long time ago, talking about, Kevin, what you need to understand is you have to look business and talk business.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, man, I think what you need to do is have an understanding of what you're trying to accomplish, treat everybody fairly, charge a fair price, and make sure everybody profits, not just the top brass. You know, so all this look business and talk business is just a bunch of bullshit. You know,
it reminds me of something that it connects. Something you told me a long time ago, Kevin Thompson, about what your brother Gunnar said. That some people don't believe this. You'll see the connection in a minute. Some people don't believe anything unless it comes out of thin white lips. That's where he put it.
Right.
Talking about racism. Some people just don't understand anything because they're so racist. They'll believe. And the same thing goes for these dress codes. You can't dress like you can't. But let some billionaire like Elon Musk or some other asshole, whoever, Zuckerberg or somebody come through and he's wearing flip flops and whatever the hell he feels like wearing, and nobody says, "Oh, you should go home and you shouldn't wear that." Nobody tells those guys that come to those TED Talks, they look like they just walked off a beach or just out of their summer house. Nobody tells them, "Oh, you shouldn't wear those khakis. What's wrong? This is a business meeting." They don't tell them that. No. But once they do it, then it's all right. But if Joe down the street does it, oh no, black, white, Latin, or whatever, if Joe down the street does it, no, you shouldn't be dressing like that. But let some big shot do it, that's all right. So it's not really that they're mad about. It's not really that they're complaining about. It's what they think in their mind, not nobody else. In their mind, what goes along with all that in their mind when they see that. And that's what pisses the hell out of me off.
Yeah, I had to tour Steve Ballmer around, years ago.
Who?
Steve Ballmer. He owns the Los Angeles Clippers.
Is he from Nike?
He's Microsoft.
Microsoft. I'm thinking the other guy.
And he owns the Los Angeles Clippers. He's worth billions and billions of dollars. Now, when I met him, I think his mother stayed in Farmington, something like that. So I did my research on him, and I said, okay, he's coming. So we kind of cleared this spot in front of the CAT so he could park his car. This guy drives up in a rented Crown Victoria. He gets out with this rumpled suit on. He's a big guy, big guy, balding, but he's a big dude. He gets out, said, I said, Mr. Barnaby, Kevin, how you doing, man? We did the tour. They gave us $1 million in software licensing or something like that, I walked him back to his car and he left. So I'm standing there talking with a couple people. I said, you see that guy just got in that car? He said, yeah. I said, you see what he driving, how he drove? Yeah, ain't nothing impressive. I said, that guy's worth $3 billion. Now you gotta remember, this is like 30 years ago. I said, he's worth $3 billion. And he's dressed in a rumpled suit, driving a rented Crown Victoria. No bodyguards, no assistants, nobody with him. So he should have had a nice 3-piece button-down suit, I guess, and been chauffeured in a limousine. The chauffeur said, no, he's worth $3 billion. Now he's worth shit, I don't know, $100 billion or some shit. But that's the one time that I met Mr. Ballmer. And I said, that shows you, everybody doesn't have to show their stuff all the time. But to your point, Wendell, I think a lot of people, when they look at people like Ballmer and look at others, they'll say, well, we know they already got their money, so they cool, so they can do what they want to do. But if you're on your way up, No, you got to kowtow to what the system dictates to you. That's where a lot of that garbage
but even
from.
if, and that's the thing that the thing that kills me is like the people that want to kowtow to the system, wherever or where you want to call it, or play the game, wherever, no problem. But why do they get so angry at people that don't want to?
Right.
I mean, if you want to do it, I ain't got no problem with the hell you what dress the hell you want to dress. But what do you why are you so mad at me? Because
that's part of their agenda, though, man. You have to have the enemy and shit too, you know, and people, you know, they got
It's just I'll tell you one thing that always works. Well, I should say always works, but generally works is if you just be yourself. I don't care if you're if you're a decent person, treat people fairly, and absent the initial shock that people might have, wherever circle you're in, right? You go out of your circle, wherever the initial shock is. After a while, only the assholes will resent you. If you have that in your mind and you keep that in your head, the world will get better in the long run. But as long as you have these people that say, "This is the way we do it," why are you doing it like that?
Yeah, but you know, Wendell, I got a opening night ticket to the Detroit Symphony Orchestra to see the great Joshua Bell on September 26th. And when I was talking to the woman at the box office, I said, "Hey, let me ask you a question." I'm just joking with her. I said, "Is there a dress code for this concert?" And she kind of chuckled. She said, "Well, it is opening night, you know, but no, you don't have to." I said, "I'll put a suit on." I said, "Only because it's the event, you know, and that's cool with me. I don't mind throwing the suit on for that. Now, do I have to? No." And I told her, I said, even if I don't put one on, guess what? They can look at me funny if they want to, but I'm sitting up front dead center. And they're not. So we're all in there for the same damn reason. Okay? Exactly. We're all in there for the same damn reason to listen to some good classical music from this great violinist. But if some people will probably look at me and go, "What is that guy doing? You know, he knows he should have a suit on. Oh God, he's uncultured." Well, he's in the same fucking place you are. Looking at this, what are you talking about?
But they're not there for the music. Like it's like that old joke about you don't come here for the hunting, do you?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like sports and stuff, though, too. You know, they get all in their gear now. You know, everybody's got to have the gear for each team that they're. It's all about that, the big show. You know.
So it's more the show than coming from. But there's something in there too. Earlier, you said something. Remind me. I wrote it down at the time. It was it reminded me of something Terrence Trent D'Arby said in one of his fantastic songs. I'm trying to remember now. You remember the lyric better than I would, Kevin Robinson. It was, when you said when people don't look past the clothing and see the person. He had a great line in the song. He was go past the. God darn it! You know what I'm talking about at all?
No,
she saw the something through the noise. She could hear.
Okay, yeah.
What song was that?
Something holding out for you or
holding on to you.
Holding on to you, yeah.
Holding on to you by Terrence Trent D'Arby.
She heard my heartbeat through the noise.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Holding on to you by Terrence Trent D'Arby. Highly recommended. And if you're into rock, soul, or pop, or just decent music, that's some good stuff. Holding on to you, YouTube.
Yeah. But he said she heard my heartbeat through the noise.
Yeah, all the noise. Because he's trying. Because he's trying to be all cool and bad, but she knew that he wasn't. That wasn't him. That was just some bullshit.
Hey, look, I want to ask you two former mail carriers a question. Okay, you see all this shit. You see all this stuff here. Okay, we got an election coming up on the 4th. All this crap I've received in the mail the last 2 days, today and yesterday. And I had more than I've thrown out. How did this kind of stuff, because people don't think about this, how did this affect y'all? How does it affect y'all job?
It's a drag.
And after 3 days, it becomes first class or something?
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't leave it there. You have to take it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because it's all bulk mail, but they say after 3 days, it becomes first class.
Right.
Because you need mail on the floor all the time.
And then election
Okay.
time, remember they would say, election, say for instance on Friday, that I want to see all this election mail out by Saturday.
Yeah.
And so like you'd be like, well, and then put in a where you put in damn, I forget these numbers I knew for 30 years. But we put in for overtime.
Yeah.
39, 96 and 96.
96.
You know, half the time they see all the mail, but and they see this impossible to deliver in that time. They still turn down your 96. Oh, he's pissing me off.
Jeez, man. Well, I'm sorry to bring up some bad memories, but yeah, I kept
election
thinking,
time.
yeah, it just dawned on me because I was saying, man, I mean that bag is heavy enough. Now you carrying enough crap because sometimes the person that's campaigning for them, working for them, they'll come up and put it on your porch.
Mm-hmm.
But this is stuff I hear my mail slot open and you hear all this stuff fall down. I go, that's that shit again, you know. And you go out there. I said, now this guy has to do this for every fucking house.
Oh yeah.
On these 3 spots and other places. That's got to be a pain in the ass to do that.
Well, and too, as I saw myself as progressive, I used to like a lot of those right wing mail had bad addresses.
Okay.
And so I would have to throw them out. Or they that's what they looked like they had bad addresses.
Oh,
bad address.
So I would throw the wrong name on there or something. So I would get rid of, almost all the right wing shit going out.
Kevin Thompson, can I tell you my favorite story like that? I was being a chinchy son of a bitch, but I'll tell it. I mean, I didn't do anything illegal, but there was this guy that wrote up. I won't say the name just in case. Well, I will have to say the name, but his name was Cummins, Cummins, right?
Uh-huh.
And so he had a letter that had his name spelled is Cummings, with a G on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I put it in his mailbox. and then the next day, I was back on top of the mailbox. This is in an apartment, right? 640 Delaware. I almost remember the apartment number. At any rate, and he put the letter back on top of his box. He goes, "My name is Cummins, not Cummings. Or can you read?"
Oh shit! Oh.
And I said, and he wrote on the top, "Dear mailman," first. "Dear mailman, my name is Cummins, not Cummings. Can you read?" And then he wrote something else that was kind of obnoxious, right?
Yeah.
So I wrote back on the letter, "I'm sorry, I thought it might be yours. It won't happen again." Sometimes things work out for Wendell.
That's right.
Around 4 or 5 months later, he got a check.
Cummings.
It said Cummings on it. So not only did I send it back with the wrong, no unknown, but I also wrote a letter. I wrote a note on one of his letters that said there was something that looked like a check, but it was not for you. It was for somebody named Cummings. So I sent it back.
Oh, there you
Now,
go.
I didn't write on the bottom was motherfucker.
Yeah, right.
People don't realize the power letter carriers have, man.
Yeah, I'm not usually chinchy like that. I would just put on the. In fact, wait a minute. I'm not trying to up this story, but there is I might have gave it back to him the next day, and wrote, "It hadn't been sent back. Here's your check," or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
My memory was shot.
But Kevin,
you're nicer than me.
Kevin,
I know you would have.
Never saw that fucking check. Okay.
hey, he wouldn't have seen his gas bill or electric bill too for a couple of months.
That's right. That's right.
Well, I never done anything that was absolutely wrong. I would never done anything wrong, even in a case of revenge or anger. But I never would have done that, like hold people's. I would never do that kind of shit. I was just let them know that they're being a jerk.
Well, my mother worked at the unemployment office, as you know, for years, right? And one day, you know, it's summertime and they're working their asses off. And she would always come out and talk to the people in line and say, look, we're working as fast as we can. You know, it's a lot of people in here. Believe me, we're going to get to all your stuff, right? We'll get you, you know, set up and everything. And they're working overtime. And my mother came out to say something that, look, we, you know, had a couple issues, but we're going to be back on track. And this guy said, look, bitch, just go get my money. And my mother looked at him and said, oh, really? She goes, guess what? I just lost your case. I don't think I'll find it for another 3 weeks. And the guy just looked at her, and everybody in line said, she always tries to help people. What the hell is your problem, cussing at her? And I said, did you do it, Mom? She goes, absolutely. She goes, absolutely. I'm sorry. No, absolutely. I lost his file for a couple of weeks. Then he came in, and later he was humble. I said, okay, we set you up. You get your check. Just let you don't go in there and call somebody a bitch. You know, one time she was called a bitch, and Eric was standing in front of the guy.
Eric is his big brother.
Oldest brother, yeah. And he was standing there, and the guy said, fuck, bitch, you know, get on your job. What the fuck wrong with you? Something like that. And Eric turned around and looked down, and he said, that's my mother. And the guy was like, oh, shit. And my mother's so funny.
You should tell people what Eric looks like.
Eric was I'm the tallest one. 5 feet tall, yeah.
5 feet wide.
Yeah, he's a big husky guy, had beard, rode a motorcycles in the club and all this. And my mother made it funny to me. Was my mother said, I looked at him, I said, Eric, don't do it, Eric. Don't leave him alone, Eric. And so Eric said, what you gonna do is get the fuck out of here. Been up in line for 5 hours. He said, I don't give a damn. He said, get the hell out of here. And the guy left. He'd been in line for hours waiting for the check. Actually, get the hell out of here. You better be glad my mother, you know.
I'm about to say he should be very happy that happened.
Oh yeah, and but Ganar also worked there, you know, middle brother.
He worked there. Did I know that?
Yeah. She worked unemployment. He worked employment. And when Ganar, and they worked at the same branch on 6 Mile.
Where was that at?
Huh?
Where's the branch at?
6 Mile and Shields.
6 Mile. Okay.
Yeah, it's like near
that would serve Hamtramck too, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I went to one on 6 Mile, just north of Davison.
This would be
6 Mile. Yeah,
I used to go that one when they went right like during the 70s when I got out of Navy. Them lines used to go around and around and around and then out the door.
Yeah, that's probably her. Yeah. Did you see a short lady in there? No, a short lady.
They're all short to me.
She was cool.
Yeah, right.
But everybody's short to you.
but Ganar worked in employment. She worked in unemployment.
Okay.
But when Ganar got assigned to that particular office, my mother said she pulled him to the side, and she said, "Let me tell you something right now." She goes, people can get real silly up in here, okay? They can get mad for whatever reason. They might call you names and all that other stuff. If you hear somebody calling me a name, usually it's gonna be bitch. Okay, you bitch. She said, you better not come over that partition and attack this guy. She goes, don't do it. She goes, I'll fire your ass if you do that.
Yeah, I'll tell you this right now. I never had, even as a little kid, any respect for people to take their anger. I don't care what the anger was caused by.
Right.
I never had any respect for people to take their anger out on the wrong person to that degree. It's just cowardly at best and bullshitty at worst. It's just wrong. I don't have respect for that. I mean, I've been on my ass too, and I know people have been on their ass. That it's not necessary if somebody just happens to be there.
Right.
To take out on them. What the hell is wrong with you?
No, it's not
just
good.
In a coward, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I used to pump gas right at Conant and Davison.
Okay.
Right next to the police department there.
Exactly.
Right.
That's right by Belinki's store and near. Yeah, sure.
But I was always afraid that I was getting unemployment at the same time. I was getting paid under the table at the gas station. And so I was always afraid that one of the people from the unemployment office would try to get gas while I'm up there. They would see me there.
They said, "Oh no, I'm not the same guy." It's not like you can pawn yourself off to somebody else.
But that's just another obsolete job that I used to have, man.
Right, absolutely, man. Well, you got to do what you got to do, though. Shit, you know.
I had two obsolete jobs. I worked as a paperboy. This doesn't hardly exist anymore. Paperboy with a wagon, and I worked in a bookstore, which is slowly becoming an obsolete job because there's not many of those anymore.
You worked in a diner too, didn't you?
A diner?
Yeah.
But that's still not obsolete yet.
You see, I worked as a pin setter too.
A who?
A pin setter in the bowling alley.
You weren't. No way.
Wow.
Are you serious?
The Palladium in Hamtramck. They had regular machines on the bottom floor, and upstairs they had pin setters.
Get the hell out of here.
I did it for one day.
Okay.
Hey, Kevin. When you were doing that job and you had to lean over and pick up those pins, did anybody holler out, "Hey, send my ball back"?
All the time.
But you weren't anyway, so that's a bad joke. You weren't even bald back then.
I was thinking about a whole nother thing.
Oh no! Hey, Wendell, check this out. See this book? Can you see? Y'all see that?
4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television.
Right. Okay. I just happened to be in my junk room, which I'm trying to take care of, and I saw this book, and I said, "Let me pull that out." And when I opened it up, I found a couple things in this book. I found the Notary Law Institute invites notaries public of Michigan to the 1995 Notary Law Seminars. I found this other thing with, it says, Nkosi Sekele I Africa, and it has some songs on it, and it has a lot of notes. Mm-hmm. But the third thing that I found, which is going to be of particular interest to you, Wendell, that shocked the hell out of me, it was a letter written to me from Nkenke Zola.
I knew you were saying Nkenke Zola when I saw the other one, yeah.
You saw the African thing, yeah. And she wrote me this letter, you know, and she was just talking about how she's going to finish reading my thesis. Remember, alone in my thesis, she's going to finish reading that. And then she talked about the book. And then, but the part I liked, you just talked about this guy. She says, looking forward to TTD, Terrence Trent D'Arby. She goes, Tina, and she is so creative. She says, looking forward to TTD, Tina, and thee at Le Concert. She goes, me thinks you are the only other person I know at this moment who was at the last St. Andrew's convention. Because I've seen Terrence Trent D'Arby twice, both at St. Andrew's Hall. Once with Lakita and once with Tina. And it was just so nice. And one thing she read to me, and I said, God, I never took her up on this. She goes, oh yeah, mayhap when you finish this arena of your studies, we can do some production together. And then she goes, kiss the baby, hug the woman. And yeah, I mean, just, you're talking about, I had no clue. I mean, I'm sure I read the letter beforehand. I had no clue, man. And, but damn, it's nice when you go through your stuff that you see something like that, which is why you don't ball things up and throw them in the garbage, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. To come across something like this made me think of her. It made me think of her daughter. I remember her daughter too that came to one of Tony's birthday parties, you know, over at my house here. And she was a kid then, you know. Yeah. And so now she got to be, you know, I think she's older than Tony.
Yes, she is.
So she's probably up there with William, maybe. Yeah, she's probably William's age now. So yeah, man, I always wondered what happened to her too, you know.
And her sister, she had a sister.
Yeah, her sister died.
Her sister died too?
Wow. Yeah, but quite an extraordinary person she was, man. That's for sure.
Yes, she was.
Yes, she was, man. So
I ran to her daughter at the post office in Highland Park around 10 years ago, 12 years ago. She was doing great. She was doing good. She had her daughter with her, and she was really, really doing fine.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. It's always nice when you hear something like that. But yeah, it's just so odd, man. So I got to read these notes that she put in here, and I said, you know, something, I'm going to go out, you know, get all these things together and go out and buy some frames. I like the stuff like this. I like to frame it, you know, just to, you know,
Solo was
That'd be
really
nice.
cool. She was cool person.
Yeah, I mean, I keep autographs from everybody else I've gotten autographs from. Why not keep that one?
Absolutely.
Put a picture of her in there too with it.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. I gotta find a picture. I don't know if I got a picture of her. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man, I was gonna say something about a little incident. How things, how things can priorities can change completely, very quickly because of one incident.
Mm-hmm.
You're just sitting there, you're thinking about, boy, I gotta get dinner tonight. Then I'm gonna go to look at this movie on TV, and then now I gotta get ready for tomorrow, whatever. Right? You're thinking all these things in order. What you're gonna do? Then all of a sudden you trip. So you're walking on the street, you trip, and all of a sudden the priorities change to, damn, I hope the ambulance gets here quick or whatever. Things change, and all those things that you thought of is very important. I can tell y'all a story one day. I'll tell y'all this story about something that happened to me in Boston, but that's for another day. What happened this morning was something else. I was driving over here to Audrey's house to do this, and on the way there, I'm having this private conversation myself about, damn, these people don't, half the people don't put their turn signals on. Turning left and no turn signal. Turning left into traffic, no turn signal. What's wrong with these people? And then I'm driving on, this one guy, I'm driving on, the lights red up here. He goes right through it. Why are they doing this? Why do people drive like this? I mean, it's like even at, of course, I'm keeping it in perspective so I don't go crazy. I'm going, well, it's still only 1 out of 10 cars doing this crazy stuff. Maybe the turn signal thing, maybe more than that. Maybe more like 2 out of 5 people or just don't use their turn signal. Because
Do they still talk on phones out? Is that illegal out there?
it's still legal, but I don't think they harm anybody. I don't really see that very often.
They do all the time here still. It's illegal, but you still see them talking on the phone all the time.
Yeah. But most people have their car hooked up or their phone hooked up. They don't have to have their hand.
Yeah.
But so I'm looking at all this kind of stuff and I'm going, arr, but I'm all right. I do it to myself. I'm doing my if you see me, I'm going just driving. But I'm like, so inconsiderate. So anyway, so I go this one major street, James Dowland, and the light's green. So I'm proceeding from my street onto James Dowland. And I go up here, I'm getting ready to make my left, and I'm in the street.
Yep.
A solid red light. I'm thinking this guy's probably late to work or something like that or whatever. And he just drove by so fast, it's no more than 5 feet away from me. Could have killed me and him or her or whoever. And it was instantaneous because it was going fast as hell.
Right.
And I had absolutely no reason to get killed, but I would have been dead. And my friends and my family and the people that care about me and me as an individual have been absolutely gone, right? And that would have been it. And there would have been no explanation, no big finish, no ending, no epilogue like a Quinn Martin show. There would have been no epilogue. It's just been that's it. 1 minute I'm here and I'm thinking all these things and I'm thinking, all this love and hate and all other things. It's been gone. That's been it. All because some son of a bitch doesn't want to be late to work. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, how many times when I was working would I see things like that? It's but something will happen a few times in my life to make me realize that it's not worth it to do certain things, right? It's not worth it to run a red light. It's not worth it to whatever it might be.
Or follow him and shoot him.
Huh?
And follow him and shoot him.
No. But I'm just trying to get to what I'm really trying to get to is not just that particular type of incident, but incidents in general. What in life do we do that doesn't benefit us that much, but risks everything?
Mm-hmm.
Not only by everything, I mean not just the everything that is us, but everything for somebody else too, perhaps. How many times, because you say you're late to work 2 minutes, and the boss or you or whatever, you get in so much trouble, you lose so many pennies or whatever it is, right? But was it really worth, is that worth, even if it's 1 out of 100 chance, is it really worth risking your life and maybe some other people's lives and maybe some children's life, all because of the anxiety you have for that being 2 minutes late to work? Is it?
Yeah. No, it's
but extrapolate that over different things in life.
Yeah.
And say,
yeah.
you need to learn how to relax a little bit and take it easy.
Right. Well, Wendell, I was on my way to work once. I was driving down Joy Road. Now, I was a manager, but I still kept myself to a strict schedule. It's not I come in when I feel like. I couldn't. I come in at a set time. People expect me there. But I left early. It was snowing. I'm driving down Joy. There's a bus in front of me, and I'm in the left lane. And it's 30 miles an hour. I'm doing 20 because of the snow, right? And the bus stops up ahead of me, and the light was green for us, but he stopped on the side. He didn't cross the street. He didn't cross Schaefer. He stopped before Schaefer.
Oh, Joy Road, Schaefer.
Yeah, and so I'm going, getting ready to go across the light. Evidently, he let this, looks like a young teenager, let this guy off the bus, and the guy immediately jumped off the bus, spun around, and ran right across the street against the light, right? Now, me going 20 miles an hour instead of 30, I was able to hit the brakes, roll down my window, I called him an asshole, and he kept running. And then I drove on to work. Now, when I was telling people that story, I said, here's the deal. Suppose I was one of these guys that says, I don't give a damn if it's snowing. I'm going to do 35 miles an hour. And I hit this kid. I'm in trouble. The bus company is in trouble because they let him off at an unauthorized bus stop. They let him off at the light. I said, the trick is you may still have a problem, but you're supposed to make every concession you need to make, especially when you're driving. If you see that it's snowing like hell out here, then slow down, leave earlier, and take your time. I said, I always kept my brakes in great condition. I wasn't drunk, and I had my glasses on. Okay. I said, so, but the kid would have paid a price that wouldn't have, I wouldn't have liked hitting this kid, I said, but you got to understand, sometimes people do something stupid, and you got to be prepared for that. Now, one time I cut a guy off. This is downtown. I did not see this guy, and I actually cut him off in my car, right? And then I saw him. You can see. I said, "Oh shit!" I cut this guy off. So we both pull up to the light. He pulls up beside me. I roll down my window and I motioned to him. And he rolls and he's, yeah, man. I said, hey, man, look, I'm sorry. Honestly, I did not see you back there. So I really apologize for that. He says, oh, okay, man, it's cool. I said, but I know one thing. He goes, what? I said, I know you was calling me all sorts of motherfuckers back there. And he busted out laughing. He said, man, shut up, man. But see, that's a story I remember decades later. Yeah. And I'm sure it pops up in his head every once in a while. Yeah. Instead of me looking like, who you looking at, goddammit? No, just fucking say you were wrong and be done with it, man. It's a trip, man.
That means a lot, just a smile and a sorry. That means a lot. Yeah,
right. Absolutely, man. I mean, I was pulling out of work and it was dark, and these guys were wearing dark clothes, and I didn't see them as they were across the street. And I don't know if I had to, I was pulling up so I can make that right turn, but I was pulling up and I saw him, and I hit the brakes, and he kind of looked, and I wasn't near hitting them or anything, but I rolled down my window. I said, hey, brothers, I said, man, I didn't see y'all, walk across the street. I said, sorry about that, man. And the guy said, oh, don't worry about it, man. And the other guy turned around, he says, thanks. He was like, thanks, man. Thanks for acknowledging the shit. That's all it takes, man. Just acknowledge it. If you fuck up, just acknowledge it and say, hey, I'm sorry. But we can't do that. We'll bump into people at a club and step on somebody's foot and act like, oh, man, fuck you. Oh, okay.
Now it's on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta have some pride in yourself before you can just acknowledge the fact that you were wrong. Because, A lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, what are those things called again? Because I can't stop seeing them now.
Funko,
right?
Here's Kramer from Seinfeld.
That don't look nothing like.
They don't look like nothing, but they are. But like she got all the sign. Any show that you think of, they make Funkos for now. Like
Really?
any TV show you can think. I got Evil Knievel.
And they all look the same, right?
I guess that's the joke.
All kinds. Skeletor, Jeffrey, the toys guy from
Who?
Toys R Us. She got them from. She gets them. They go on sale for like $1 a piece or something. And they have these lines, like that one you're talking about. That sell different stuff. Star Wars. She got all the Star Wars stuff.
Wow, man. About how many does she have?
About 300, I'd say.
300.
She got them all over there too, man. It's like all over the place.
Is that Pete Rose? Is that Pete Rose above you there?
Pete Rose?
Well, I see a red cap.
Let's see.
To your right.
This one?
Yeah.
That's Jabberwocky.
Jabberwocky.
I don't know. A lot of these are from games, different games.
Oh, okay.
Like animation. She got all Naruto stuff.
Wow, that's interesting.
Star Wars, everything. Parks and Recreation. You ever watch that show?
Yeah, I remember the show.
Yeah. Hey, see, I like to say we're gonna take off, but look here. Next week, I'll be in Detroit. Next Friday.
Good. I'm gonna be out of town.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm going to California.
Get out of here.
I'm gonna stay I'm gonna squat at your place.
That's pretty funny. But but look here, Audrey gave me a little microphone to take with me, and so can we do it at your house, Kevin Robinson, or can we do it?
I have to see.
Huh?
I have to see what kind of room I can squeeze out here. I ain't gonna lie to
you. Either your house or Bobby's house.
Well, Bobby's might be better.
Okay, so Kevin can come by and pick you up, and is that cool?
Or I can Uber to Bobby's place, whatever it is, I can catch the bus to Bobby's place. No, I'm just joking.
You really can. Actually, you're right by Dexter. You actually.
No, I'm not by Dexter. I'm a.
You could use me as an Uber.
You're like 6 blocks from Dexter. 9 blocks from Dexter.
You think I'm walking through this neighborhood to catch the bus? You think?
Hey, that's my neighborhood you're talking about, brother.
That's right. Especially them Watkins boys. They can't come here.
Watkins boys.
That's right. And they used to check the dumpsters on Wendell's route. They were always full of mail.
There was somebody found a dumpster by where I lived someplace else, though. They actually found a dead body in a dumpster there.
Really?
Yeah, right off of Woodward. What's that? 1 block north of 6 Mile on Woodward.
Now, why would you throw a body in a dumpster? You got the whole river to throw bodies in.
Right. Did you have his check, Wendell? He don't need it anymore.
This is all going crazy here at the end, but folks.
That's right.
Well, that was really something I said earlier. That really is pissing myself off, though. But I'll talk. Well, never mind. I'll talk to you about it later. All right.
Well, whatever. Hey, Kevin, whatever you want to do about next Friday, just let Wendell know. Let me know,
right.
and then if I need to, if you come get me, that's fine. If
I'll Uber you.
That's fine.
I'll Uber you.
I'll tell you what, man. And after the show, man, we can all go. If you want to, we can all go get something to eat. And
sound like a winner.
And I'll take care of Kevin's meal, but the hell with Wendell.
Hey,
because you didn't give me my check.
All right. Kevin alias
said Kevin Robbins instead of Robinson.
Right. Robinson, like so many people call you Robinson. Yeah.
Well, but all that guy had to do, Wendell, is look at the piece of mail and say, is this for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if he says, "Oh no, this is not mine," just says, "Hey, mailman, I know the name's close, but no, this does not belong to me."
Yeah.
That's it. Can you read? Oh, come on,
Can
man.
you read? Yeah.
He still be looking for his mail today. They say, "Man, Kevin,
I
Kevin
remember
just
the guy's
returned."
name too. I remember his first name for
Right.
some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why you want to. Why anybody would want to piss off their mailman? It don't make sense, man.
Or why would
Right.
let's go further than that. Why would anybody act like that to somebody else if they had power over them or not?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? It's like people insulting waiters and like, I'm not gonna, so that's why you're a waiter and I'm whoever I am. What makes people do things like that? If somebody does something wrong, is one thing, but somebody makes a mistake and they want to try to put them down as a human being.
They got something going on and they want to take it out on you instead of
absolutely.
That's what. Absolutely,
it is,
no doubt about it.
He probably just got turned down by his girlfriend, and then you come out there and you say, "Well, mailman."
Right. But you remember Wendell, like, you remember Wendell, when I told you about when I was on Instagram and I saw this person at the Magic Bag in Ferndale, Michigan. And
right.
This guy says, it's Detroit. I said, it's not Detroit, it's in Ferndale. And he goes, "Oh, you one of those old guys that have to be so specific." And I said, "And what's wrong with that?" I said, "So if I was your mailman," because I always use you guys as an example, if I was your mailman and I knew you thought like that, right? And somebody wrote Detroit instead of Ferndale, you'd never see it. Okay, because they got it wrong. It's not Detroit, it's Ferndale. That's what it is. What's your problem with it? What are you talking about?
I never could. That brings me on another rant of mine. It's like, why would anybody get mad about more information than you asked for? I mean, less information you asked for, fine. But somebody says, "I say, what year are you born?" And they say November '58. I didn't ask you what month. What? Did you get the answer to your question? 1958? Yes. Then shut the fuck up.
Well, then it'll be what day? Okay, and then what time of day? Like, come on, man.
But
it's silly. It's silly, man. Yeah, you're right, though. People, they just want something to bitch about. That's all.
When it gets in that, it's just somebody just
they want something. Yeah, a guy left a note on my car one time, and he says, you don't know how to park. I was between the yellow lines. Now I was close to one yellow line. You have the yellow line to mark. So you got the yellow lines like that. So I was a little closer to this one, but I was still on the other side of the yellow line. Yeah. And I remember looking at, and you should need to learn how to park, or you shouldn't drive. Now this guy is a dude. I think he's being very brave because he wasn't there.
Why would he even say that? You're at the line.
Because he's an asshole, and I
said, "Don't go out of your way to write a note out."
Right. But I was thinking, I said, I sure wish that I had seen this guy when he wrote the note, because I know what was wrong, and I probably would have said, "Oh, because your fat ass can't fit out of the car, you want to take it out on me. So why don't you go run some laps? Then you start fat shaming them, and then everybody goes, 'Oh, Kevin, you're wrong.' I said, no, hell with that, Don't call me an asshole. I didn't do anything. I'm right. I'm correct. I'm between the lines. So now I gotta unload on your ass with both barrels. Then you shouldn't have done
it. The worst thing about that story is you never know who actually what guy wrote it. It could have been which. So it's like you can't get any revenge.
Right, but he felt good about himself, though. I'm sure he did. I told him, you're a coward, man. You're a fucking coward. Is what you are, man. But I know it's wrong to shame people, but sometimes I just can't help it. Especially when you're an asshole. When you're an asshole, man, all bets are off.
Right. I'm sorry. All bets are off if you're an asshole.
Right.
All bets.
All bets are off, man.
All right, well, I'll be happy to see you all in the flesh next week.
Well, you'll see me in clothes, not in the flesh, but
you'll see me in the flesh.
I might do what. Here we go.
Don't do it.
Y'all want to do that?
No,
No. No. We only got 30 people looking at us as we speak. So.
And thank you again, all you top 31 people out here. Oh, this is what's here.
Mr. Wiggles.
One of my all-time favorite cartoons. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
See you later, Cam. See you next week.
Talk to you later. See you next week.
Week on a brand new show.
All right.
Okay.
Wendell, Kevin, that's a show. We talk about things you wanna know. From the bay we come to you with the freshest point of view. Watkins leads the way tonight. Gonna make your evening bright. WKKS. Tune in now and join the fest. WKKS. Hope you like our show the best. Topics flow from left